Hello, everyone. Um, Good afternoon, everyone. If you can hear me, please let me know in the general section. If you can hear me clearly, let me know in the general section.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, everybody. Or good morning, wherever you are. Sorry. So, I'm Temix, and I'm the community moderator for Discord of Tank War Zone. And based on your recommendation, I've decided to bring in the core team members today to answer the questions you might be having, right? So with us today is one of the co-founders, Paul, and our chief marketing officer, Andy. So, Andy, please can you introduce yourself and your background?
Okay, so hello everyone. Very happy today to have this conference and AMA with everyone in our community on Discord. So my name is Andy. I'm the head of business development and also the CMO of the project. So I've been involved in the crypto market for a few years now, and very happy and fortunate to have the chance to work with Pete, who is our founder and CEO. Ho is our co-founder, and also Lawson is our strategic technical advisor to in this project named Tangwar Zone. So probably just a brief introduction from our blockchain background is that Pete, Paul, and Lawson have been involved in the crypto market since very early. So mining Bitcoin back in 2013, and especially in 2019, they became the first community validator on Phantom Network. So only after the founding ones. So as you may know, Phantoms right now usually in the top 40 on CoinMarketCap. So that journey actually has given our founding team members an incredible amount of experiences, knowledge, as well as in a capital return as well. And currently, we also the most stake validator on Fuse Network, which is also another promising sidechain. So we have around 7 million token stake on our validator at the moment. So that's a little bit about our blockchain background. In terms of the game development, so everything that you've seen, all the graphics, design, the demos, the gameplays, everything is built in-house. So one of our game designers is actually from Gameloft Vietnam, which is a subsidiary of Gameloft Global. So you may know some of their popular titles on like App Store, like Asphalt in Racing, Dungeon Hunter, Order and Chaos, etc. So what we try to do is to gather a team with extensive experience, both in terms of blockchain development and game development as well, to create our game Tangwar Zone. So that's a little bit about our team. Yeah.
Okay, great, Andy. So, can you talk a little bit about what Tangzone really is for those that are just joining and don't really have an idea of what the entire game is about?
Okay. So first, I think I would like to go over like what is the market as well as at the blockchain game in general. So as you can see now, blockchain gaming has now introduced very new business model for game developers. So if we look back with the traditional ones, games only have like a closed economic system in which everything is owned by the game publishers and it does not hold much monetary values linked to the real world. But with blockchain gaming, there is a fundamental shift in values in which now we, as game creators, we can create our own economy and ecosystem that connects to the real world. Players can have different ways to make money now by playing to earn cryptocurrencies, staking or trading their NFTs for profits on game marketplaces, and the in-game assets now actually have tangible values. So as game developers, the more dynamics of the game ecosystem, the more vibrant are the communities, the more successful it can get in terms of values, both in entertainment and economic returns. So blockchain gaming is transforming the gaming industry worldwide. So we want to, in that sentiment and in that vision, we want to create a blockchain game which first will be very affordable and accessible to everyone, with low initial cost to play. And secondly, it'd be fun and enjoyable for players to spend time playing while also earning a regular and extra income. So that's why we came from to create Tank War Zone. And
Okay.
yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so this is how we are going to do the AME session. We have questions already in the AME question channel, right? So we have picked out 10 questions that we are going to be answering due to time constraints. And once those 10 questions have been exhausted, we'll take 5 questions from the live audience, and that's how we are going to do this AME. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so the first question here by DC, he asks, what would make Tank War Zone unique in the Metaverse game, and what incentive will the user have to make sure that they will join and continue to play even in bad times of the market, especially if bear market comes? So, like, what is our strategy to keep our players even if there's a bad market condition?
Okay. So there's this pictures I want to share with you. Let me put it here. So we tweeted this one a few days ago. Let me send it. Okay. So we tweeted this pictures a few days ago about Tank Wars Metaverse. So let me go over a few key things here. So we have tweeted this picture on our Twitter about a vision of the Tank Wars Metaverse, in which players, beside playing the game, they can actually create various in-game items and assets, such as items, decorations, like with garage, like the depot that you can see here, or even their own tank design in manufacturer. So to build garage or factory require lands which you can purchase or acquire by fighting monsters roaming on these lands. So one of our vision is to make this game into a platform for user-generated assets. So we will provide APIs and SDKs, and the players will have the freedom to create their own design that they can personalize their tank, their items, and if you as a player, if you are also a good designer and a creator, you can even make money by selling your design, your masterpieces in our game marketplace. So we want to give our players the options to make the gameplay even more exciting and even more fun. So imagine you can have your own design tank in the battle with others. As players ourselves, we would be very thrilled to see that. So to answer this question, that we're gonna have a lot of gameplays. So if you read our white paper, we have different gameplay modes like PvE, PvP, World Boss Battle, Guild Wars, Tank Championship, Battle Royale. Battle Royale is like a Fortnite style, but instead of characters, now you have tanks. So let's say we have like a big map and you drop 20 tanks into it, and then you would try to eliminate each other until the last one standing. So and that one is going to be the winner. So we're gonna have a lot of gameplays that we want to offer to our players, and we also have different special features like the garage, as I just mentioned, that you can create your own in-game assets, and also like factory later on, you can create your own tank design as well. So these are the things that we really want to do and to offer to our players to make it to keep our internal values of our game sustainable even during bad time or in the bear market.
Okay, great. Okay, so the second question that came in said from, sorry everyone, in case I don't pronounce your name very well, you should understand that we are from different places in the world and accents can be different. So please do not take it as an offense. Okay, so from DN May, he said to develop a project, the first priority is to have enough capital. Does your team have enough funds to carry out this project? And how does the project make a profit?
Okay. So we are very fortunate in this regard because we are already financially sound when we started this project. The reason is our founding team members, Pete, Paul, Lawson, as I mentioned, are the
Yes.
first community validator on Phantom Network. So only after the founding ones. So back in 2019. So you can see the Phantom is like in the top 40 on CoinMarketCap now. So that journey actually has given our founders like a lot of knowledge, experience, and especially capital returns. And we're also the most stake validator at the moment on Fuse Network. So by operating these validators also generates income for us to run the project. So and also with the help of the capital investment from our VCs, also help us tremendously in sustaining the project and building our vision. And for the game, when launching the game, we also generate income by the marketplace fees and revenue from minting NFTs of our game. So as a whole, we are the financial foundation of our team, our project is very solid, and we are very confident that the financial side would not be a problem to sustain the project and to build this project to make it more even better.
Okay, great. I would like you to go over the second question again. He asked, how does the project make a profit? So, like, if you can go a little bit more in depth on how that works for the project.
So there's a lot of ways that the project can make a profit. If you look at back to another thing that we can mention is if you look back to the Tank Warzone Metaverse poster, you can see the propaganda bureau. So one of the things that we want to do that kind of different than other games, beside all the conventional generating incomes, is to put ad from reputable brands in our game. So we'll have a big map of different tanks fighting each other, right? And then we'll have different like poster and banners like McDonald's, Binance, etc. in our game, and we will have that as like an ads revenue to our game system, and also to the players participate in that game as well. So that's one of the way that we can generate profit from this kind of model. Yeah.
Okay. I'm particularly interested in what you just mentioned right now, the propaganda stuff. Now, does that mean as an external party, I can actually like create a billboard in the metaverse of Tank Warzone and then rent it out? Will that be possible? Since you said we can
Mhm.
create our own assets in the game.
The assets gonna be for the tanks. So like for like the turrets, the guns, the flags, the skin, etc. Right now for the billboard is gonna be by the game system, and we work directly with the brands for that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. No, that's great. So to the third question, this one is from Maxim. So he said marketing and partnership are really crucial to any project because it reinforces and spreads the credibility of that project. Can you list several well-known partners and what will you execute to keep long-term holders as well as investors?
Okay. So currently we have around 30 VCs committed to our project, which we are really thankful of. And the most important one probably is the Phantom Foundation, who has been supporting us since the very beginning. So being one of the first blockchain games on Phantom and being backed by the foundation and invested by them is a huge deal for us. All the big ones that you can see on our websites like EFG, very big in China, Habichain Capital, New Wave Capital, ZBS Capital, LD, Prometheus Labs from Russia, etc. So we have around 30 VCs currently committed to our project. And for more details, you can also go over our website, tankwarzone.zone, in the investors and partners section to see the list of our current backers at the moment, and that list is currently updating. We will have a few more adding on later on, so you can check on that. And what we execute to keep long-term holders as well as investors is that so our objective is to build an affordable and fun and exciting blockchain game for our users while also create functional economy within our game to increase our keep and increase our coin value. So as long as our investors understand our vision, that we are here for the long term, not just a cash grab or rug pull, and see what we can do and offer to them and our community, our internal value will keep the partnership more lasting. Yeah.
Okay, great. So to the fourth question, by Starlit AS, he he said security is always mentioned in any project. So, how will you protect the risk of losing money or leaking information? So, how do you protect information or protect the user from losing funds due to security risk?
So we use smart contract a lot in a lot of aspect in our game, and we have very chain. The one that is a smart contract auditor, and they the one
Sorry,
audited.
can you come again? Sorry, Andy, can you like start all over?
Okay. I was saying that we use smart contract in a lot of aspect in our game, and we have
Yeah.
a very chains. So very chains is a smart contract auditor company, and they're the one who audited XC Infinity, and they also did the audit for our smart contracts, and we publish it on our Twitter already. And VeryChain is also one of our investors as well. So besides just a financial investment, they will also support and supporting us in terms of security and ensure that our project will have a very high security and protection from hacks and other malicious attack. Yeah.
Okay. So, the fifth question here is by Leah Corey. He said, or he or she said, most investors only focus on short-term price of the token instead of the actual value of the project. So, what are the benefits for long-term investors?
Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're gonna have a lot of features and additional content in our pipeline. So such as very gameplay modes like PvE, PvP, World Boss Battle, Guild Wars, Tank Championship, Battle Royale, as I mentioned, and our special features such as garage, manufacturers, the landing mechanics. I think I should mention a little bit more about landing mechanics. So it's another special feature that we want to do is that you can provide your tanks for rental, and you yourself can set a fixed daily fee for the rentees. So whether a person when they rent your tank and whether they play their tanks or not, your tanks or not, they will need to make a daily payment to the tank owners. So we can look at this in two cases. So the first one is that if you have 20 tanks, you don't have enough time to play all of them. You can rent your tank to your friends, to other players to participate in the game, and just to have the first experience without putting in too much asset into playing into buying the NFTs. The second one is that if we look from a more business-oriented perspective, you can actually adopt like a business, an Uber style of business model in which instead of large fleet of cars, now you have a large fleet of tanks. And you're going to have numerous drivers or players that will work for you, and you get a percentage cut from their work as the daily rate that you set. So that's another way that we can look at this landing mechanics that you can use in a more business oriented perspective. So so yes, so we have these special features that we want to do. So you see that there's a lot of gameplay modes, special features, etc. It's not going to be an all-in-one package at the game launch, but we want to spread these out well. So that's why there are benefits that we assume and predict for long-term investor in this regard. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, now the next question is by Lin Lola. And this question is quite personal for me too, as someone that has been in the Phantom ecosystem. I've seen a
Mm-hmm.
lot of projects that were started well, had a lot of potential, but then were abandoned. So the person asks, how will you manage the project to maintain your position in the market and become a good project in the blockchain world? So how do you intend to keep the project running such that the
Mm-hmm.
project will not be abandoned eventually?
Yes. So we are very fortunate to be one of the first games on Phantom. So as first movers, we want to act and capitalize on this opportunity and expand from there. So as I mentioned, one of the reasons that the other project that developed well but suddenly abandoned, one of the reason maybe in terms of financial, they get what they want and then they just leave. But because we are backed by the Phantom Foundation themselves, so we actually need to keep our words to our backers and most importantly the Phantom Foundation because we are the first community validator. We are still the validator on Phantom Network, so it's not something that we can abandon like other team or other project. So we have a very clear and strict commitment with the Phantom Foundation to ensure the project will be lasting and to bring more dynamics, more values, and contribute to the development of the Phantom network as a whole. So that's one thing that we want to emphasize that this is not only for ourselves, but for the Phantom network as a whole. This is something that we really want to emphasize. So and we, in terms of that's why we want to gather a team with strong background, like I mentioned, both in terms of blockchain and game development and design. And if you look at our roadmap, it's pretty clear what we want to do and offer to our players. So we always maintain that track and listen to our communities, investors, and provide enjoyable and profitable gaming experience to our users. Yeah.
Great. Okay, on to the next question now. The question goes like this. Currently, which is the most important for you? One, community. Two, investment. Three, token price. And whichever one you pick as the answer, why?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so currently the most important for us is the community. So we are very thankful for your presence here today and the support for our project, and we love listening to your feedback. So thanks for Tamix, your relentless and work with our users and members. So you have raised with us that we need to do an AMA with us community because we want to have this interaction with our users. So to connect with our fan base, our member base, and essentially, what is a game without players and without you? So the communities is one of the most important aspect of our GameFi project, and we can't wait to let you try out our demo later on. So we launch just a sneak peek is that we will launch another campaign soon for our INO for our NFT sales, and we would love that you guys will be one of our first beta testers for that. So this is just a sneak peek, but this is the thing that we want to give to our communities. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so we are almost done with the 10 questions. Uh, the eighth question here is by Wolf Kogi. He said, what operating system will the beta launch be compatible with? iOS, Android, or PC only?
Okay. So initially, the game will be on the web using WebGL, and we use Unity for our game engine. So it shouldn't be a problem exporting the game to other platforms later on, such as iOS, Android, PC, and macOS. And yes, so to answer, initially it will be on web using WebGL, but we're gonna do a mobile platform later on for sure because we also did our research and for the majority of gamers today are on mobile. I think 57%, and we have like 3 billion to 3 billions. I think 3 billions are gamers. They can be casual, they can be pro, but a lot of us play games on our smartphone and tablets. So definitely we're gonna do our game on mobile later on for sure. But initially it's gonna be on the web using WebGL. Yeah.
Okay. He also asked, he said, what is the connection with the game designers and deep knowledge of tank warfare? The weapon details, idea for tank repair and tank body design look well researched. So, can you talk a little bit about the game designers and their experience with a tank warfare or something like that?
Okay, so our team has built several Tank Wars game before, so it's something that we are very well versed in. And actually, our main inspiration of Tank Warzone came from a very old childhood game named Battle City. You can see it on Nintendo Entertainment System back at the time. So maybe you guys can recognize it. Just Google Battle City, and you can see that Tank War, that old Tank War game. So we used to spend a lot of time playing this tank game with our friends back then. So this also a nod to nostalgia of our childhood to create this game as well. So that's why we are very well versed and know a lot more about tanks and to have different design. And we think that when you see our first 10,000 tanks design, it's gonna be very exciting for. Yes, thank you. Yeah, you just posted. That's the Battle City game. Hopefully, a lot of you can recognize that one. So it's pretty. I think it's the same time with Contra or Mario. So yes, this game actually came from an old childhood inspiration. Yeah.
Okay, great. Uh, Titan asks, he said, what are your long-term goals and vision to
Mhm.
achieve the highest efficiency of the set goals? What is your roadmap in the coming time? What are the goals that you will focus on developing this year?
Okay, so you can check our roadmap on our website for more details, but basically, we can go over a few milestones in the upcoming months. The first one is going to be the IDO. We plan to do our IDO just 2 weeks later on Jan 18 to Jan 22 on across multiple launchpad and venues. And then after that, going to be INO, the initial NFT sales, and then the IGO. So all these three will be all in Q1 of this year, the first quarter. And as you may know, we have our IDO in the next 2 weeks going to be on different launchpad. So we haven't
Andy,
made.
can you check your mic? Sorry, the sound is coming out a little bit lower.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So our idea will be on the next 2 weeks from Jan 18 to Jan 22 across multiple venues. So we haven't made like official announcement yet on some of them, but for our internal Discord AMA today, I would like to just go over. So we're gonna have a Matic launch, Gammy Words, Babylon's Game Station, Phantom Maker, and MEXC. So Matic launch will be for Matic. GamiWare, Babylons, and Game Station is going to be for BSC. Phantom Makers for Phantom, and MEXC is going to be our IEO. So
Okay.
after those three IDO, INO, and IGO in Q1, we will focus more on developing the gameplays, adding more modes and features, as I mentioned before, to make the game even more fun, more exciting. And
Okay,
for
so
more, uh-huh.
yeah, you can go on. Go on. Go on.
I
Sorry.
mean, for more details, you can check our roadmap on our website. So we on the games we launch on Phantom at Genesis, but we plan to do a cross chain later on. So we also in talk with BSC team, Avalanche, CeeLo, and Matic, the Polygon. So gonna have do the cross chain later on for our game, but at Genesis it's gonna be on Phantom. Yeah.
Okay, so one question I saw here is by On Godzilla. So he said lots of play to earn requires you quite an amount of money to actually earn. Does
Mm-hmm.
Tango Zone have inclusivity that anybody could participate?
Yes. So we have two things. We have the first one is the free to play mode. It's like we want to the players can have some initial experience to try out our game. And the second one is that one of our main things for this game is that we want to make it very affordable for the players. So right now we have the pricing of our NFTs hovering around $50 per each NFT. So we don't think it's going to be expensive and it's going to be very affordable for the players, especially those in developing countries. Yeah.
Okay. The last question is by Ed Joke. So he said, how will you differentiate yourself from competitors? What will you do differently to attract new audience? And I would like to know your marketing plans in that principle.
hmm So we don't have one of the we for the marketing plan for our game. So is that we see the importance of gaming guilds. So one of the first contact that we do during our fundraising is that to contact a lot of gaming guilds, and we have connect with one gaming guild, made a gaming guild MGG. So that guild is gonna be supporting us because the base of them is also the players, and for that, and we plan to do also to have our own guild as well for this game and for the local region as well, for to have this kind of gaming communities to as a support to different GameFi projects, such as this. And yes, so that's the thing that we want to do, and to differentiate our with the competition is that, as I mentioned, we have a lot of different gameplay modes, different special features such as the landing mechanics, the garage. I don't think a lot of games right now offer the ability to create your own design. So the players can create their own design and of the various in-game items. And later on, if you own a factory, you can design your own tanks as well to play in our game. So I think that's the user-generated assets is one of the main thing that we want to do later on for this game. Not only just environment to play, but also as a platform for players can create their own custom design. So those are the things that we want to make it really, really fun, really exciting, and attractive to our players.
Okay. As a follow-up question from me myself, right? On
Mhm.
what you just mentioned. So,
Mhm.
if they are going to be outsiders creating tanks or
Mhm.
equipment, how do you
Mhm.
intend to rate those those valuables being created? Like, I know NFTs for games, most games have rarity and some have digging powers and whatever, depending on what the game is about, right? That
Yes.
kind of makes them earn more depending on the one you get. So how do you
Mhm.
intend to rate those things created by external creators?
Mhm. So one of the things that even though they can create their own design, etc., they still need to use our SDK, the software development kit. So there's going to be the rules and regulation they need to follow in order to create their own design. So they can have it, but it needs to comply with the certain rules in our SDK, something like that. And one of that would be for to make it rare. The rare level would be one of the feature or aspect in the SDK that the creator need to comply with to create. Like if they want to make a legendary items or legendary tank, there's going to be certain rules that they need to go by in order to create that kind of content. Yeah.
Okay. So we are done with the questions that were asked. So we are going to be moving on to live questions for people that
Mhm.
are currently online. So we are going to, if you are interested in asking a question, what you're going to do is come to the general group and just raise your hand using an emoji. So and then I will unmute you to ask your question. So anybody that is interested should go first.
Sup, guys? Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Snake Oil. I'm from London, speaking. I liked what you said about the battle royale and the strategy aspect. Could you give more details on how much the skill will matter on that game versus some R&D like throwing a dice?
Okay. So for the battle royale, this moment, what we envision is that we're gonna have a big map, and then we have 20 tanks in that big map, and then they will try to eliminate each other. And depends on your tank, each tank gonna have different like guns, armor, tank threat, booster fluids, etc. That will have different unique characteristic of their attributes. So actually, you need a lot of to assemble different components or modules to assemble a tank in order to have this kind of your perfect machine in order to be the winner for the battle royale.
Right on. So it's a combination of time and strategy that we put in. Okay, makes sense. Cheers, buddy.
Yeah. So because one of the reasons is that for the demo that we're gonna show you in our website is gonna be the just a control-free turn-based battle system. So you don't see so you don't control the movement of your tank, and then it's just be each tank gonna fire at each other for at each turn. So I think that's what you've seen, but we have another demo that we currently developing. Is that for the PvP and then for battle royale things like that? Is that it's going to be a real time battle? So that's why I think that's why you have that question, because for the real time battle, you will control the movement of your tank, and then you need to maneuver it effectively to either to dodge the bullets or to have a better position to fire and eliminate your opponent. So that's something that we currently do at the moment. So we probably will not show you later on if our founders allow, and then when the development is in the late stage. But that's the one thing that we want to do. So the battle royale is like a top view of the map, and then you have different tanks going to fire at each other in real time. So yeah. So it's going to be more action, more animated, and it's a real-time battle compared to the PvE that you've seen on our website. It's just turn-based battle system.
Okay, great. I'll unmute Mr. AR. He has raised up his hand. So yeah, you can unmute yourself, Mr. AR, and ask your question.
Yeah, okay. Good evening. I think it's evening this time, but okay. Like you said, you're like making 10,000 NFTs. So let's say there's someone who wants to like make this into a business. Like buy like a couple of those NFTs, maybe to maybe use them to play, maybe level up, then rent them out, like as you say, like an Uber business, maybe to get money from other players. So 10,000 NFTs are not like, let me say, people are getting interested in the game. So very many people are wanting to participate in the game. Like, are you going to maybe do like some random like airdrops, or like, like do other games where there are seasons, like this season you put like some other different stuff, and this like to get more people like interested? Because like maybe very many
Yes.
people want to get interested, but the NFTs like won't be like
Mm.
enough.
Okay, I answered your question. So the first 10,000 NFTs is only for at the Genesis launch. It's going to be a special class of tanks, and it's going to be labeled at Genesis. But we also have different generations of tanks later on in our game marketplace that you can mint these tanks. So it's going to be limited at 10,000 tanks.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay. Thanks.
Who else is willing not to go to ask a question? Okay.
Can I
So yeah,
ask?
you can unmute yourself. Yeah, you can. Go on, go on.
Oh, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So first of all, congratulations for this idea. I think this game will be a massive success in the future. My question is regarding the bad times if they come in the market. For example, if we all know that in bear market times people are not so interested in crypto. Maybe will be the same with crypto games. My
Mhm.
question is how will the communities or the tank wars team make sure that the people will not go away in that bad times of the market and will still play and be active in the game and in the community?
Thank you for your questions. Well, one of the things that we've been asking a lot is that the bear market is coming soon. What you're gonna do? And our answer is that we're gonna keep doing what we've been doing to maintain and to increase our internal values that we're gonna bring to our game. So it's not gonna be affected just by the bear market or just a bull market. But what we try to do is that we want to create uh, internal values. So great gameplays, great economy, great communities, and the support from the communities, from the VCs, and from all the partners that we've been working with. So this is a GameFi project. So the game came first, the finance. So we want to create this exciting and affordable and visually refreshing game to our players. So either the market is down or it can be down for a few months, for a year, something like that. But we're here for a long term, so it's not going to be affected us that gravely. So one of the reasons that, as I mentioned before, we are very financially sound and solid. So we are confident that even in the bear market, we still go ahead with our plans to ensure that the quality of the game is still up there, and to ensure that it's going to be enjoyable gaming experience and also a good source of income to our players. So that's the thing that we've been answering to all the question about what we need to prepare for the main market.
Mhm. Okay, it sounds like a good approach. Thank you for the answer.
Thank you.
Okay, Wolf, you can go on.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay, so for the regions that we're gonna have different map for the game. So and one of the things that we want to do land features in our game as well. So we have different kind of land, different types of that, and then you can purchase land either from our game marketplace, or you can acquire land from fighting monsters in those land, and you can acquire them uh, as the owner, or you can sell it in our game marketplace as well. So the three regions is going to be different type of maps that you can do in our game at Genesis. Yeah. So this is something that we're currently developing and envision to have this kind of land features in our game. Thank you. Yeah.
So, any other person? This will be the last question we will take for the session. Mr. AR wants to go again. Okay.
Okay. So I'm really interested in the shooter type games. So antancozoo looks to be like a very interesting one. So like I've been playing most of these shooter games, and like they have certain times where they like have attachments. So maybe let me say you have a tank, then you attach to it some, like let me say, heavy body armor. So when the other guy
Mhm.
shoots at you, like your health doesn't decrease a lot. And
Yes.
at certain points, so in some games there reaches a time when there's maybe a season where the attachments are too buffed, like they are too strong, and if you have that buff, let me say an
Mm-hmm.
opponent can have a hard time defeating you. Then maybe the next season they like reduce on that. Then maybe they buff other items, and like there are other items that, okay, there are other items that are stronger than the
Mm-hmm.
others. But then there's a certain, like a time where they make other items that were not stronger, like somehow, and these ones buffed down, like to make it like more interesting for people to find out what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. So in terms
Yeah.
of different types of item, we have different rarity and things like that, and you can assemble them into your own tanks. And one of the things that whether it's too powerful or not, we're gonna have a matching system to ensure that for each battle it's gonna be a fair battle. So it's not gonna be like a totally beginners fighting like with a pro or something like that. So we have this kind of matching system to provide a fair battles for our players. And so that's one of the things that we envision, that if someone owns too powerful weapons, they can easily defeat all the others. So that's one of the things that we plan in beforehand to prevent these kind of things. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Okay. So I think this is going to be the end of the AME session. Thank you everyone for joining. And if there's any other, we are still going to have more AME sessions, but it may not be on Discord anymore. The next one for the community is definitely going to come up on Telegram. So thank you for joining, and I wish you all good luck.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for this Discord AMA. I'm very happy that Paul and I have today this opportunity to discuss with you guys. Very happy and very thankful for your support. Yes, and we try to listen to your opinions, to your feedback, and we would love to hear if you have any ideas, any question. Just let us know. You can contact Tamix,
Yeah, yeah,
me,
we
or
can hear
Paul.
you.
So to make sure that what we want to do is something that everyone can enjoy together. Yeah.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
that will be the end of the session. Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.